in women's amateur golf, it's the one you want to win. No one ever forgets that. You're etched in the history books.
You know, when you're out practicing your putting, you're like, okay, this is for the U.S. Amateur. You know, you want to put that pressure on yourself early. Not many people have the opportunity to do it. And then for Sophia to actually get it done and be one of the 3 individuals that have won it for this university is huge.
Growing up, I'd watched Paula Creamer, Michelle Wee. I hadn't really made it to that point yet where I knew I was going to be there in their position. It was just really awesome for me because I knew that I was almost to where those girls are, and I knew that I could be. And so that was something that I'll always remember. Prior to the AM, I took off 2 weeks of playing golf at all because of my wrist.
She didn't play much. She had worked so hard for 9 or 10 months straight to kind of get back into form. She had a little tendonitis happening. She didn't get the reps, but she had some confidence, obviously, because she was playing well, but she didn't have the prep that she wanted.
Going into the AM, since I hadn't been practicing for 2 weeks, I was a little uneasy about a few parts of my game. I wanted Coach Murphy to caddy for me from the beginning. I mean, he's walked with me through most of my collegiate tournaments, and so Coach Murphy helped me out a lot. I mean, we focused on one shot at a time, one match at a time, and he kept telling me, you know, don't get too high, don't get too low, and just focus on each shot, and that really helped me a lot. I had come from 156 girls, and so now I was down to 8 girls, and I felt a little pressure, but it was also very exciting for me because I knew getting to this point that I was good enough to win.
She did what she had to do to get through the stroke play portion of the event, and then each match she just kept getting better and better and better. It was like the snowball going downhill, and that week there was no one that could stop her.
In the round of 4, my opponent was from Chinese Taipei. This match was one of my longest matches. That went down to the last hole, and on that last hole I was a little nervous because, you know, it could have gone either way. She's a great player. She could birdie this hole, I could par it, and we could go into more holes.
And so Sophia's standing there in the fairway and she's got pitching wedge and she's like, do you like the middle of the green here? And I was like, no, I actually like the flag right now. Let's just go right at the flag and let's not take any chances right now. And Sophia hit it to 1.5 feet. That was a big shot she hit. That pitching wedge was big. It's right on the money.
Wow, great shot.
The type of golf shots that get you into championships. Sophia Schubert, a short putt for a birdie with a 1-up lead.
That gave me a lot of confidence going into the final round because I had just beat a really good player. I won it. She didn't mess up and let me win it. So that gave me a lot of confidence going forward.
She handled it great. She knew what she was there to do. She just wasn't going to let anything get in her way.
I felt a lot of nerves, but I mean, if you don't feel nerves, then you probably shouldn't be out there. So I knew that was going to come with being where I was, and it was definitely worth it for me. My opponent in the final round, Albane, she was the highest ranked amateur out there in the field. I mean, she had already played in some LPGA events, a few LPGA majors, and so she had a lot of experience. I knew that it was going to be really tough, and then once I was winning, I mean, through the first 9 holes, that gave me a lot of confidence. I mean, I was beating one of the best amateur players in the world, and that put me in a really good position, I felt like.
But she went through 18 holes with no bogeys. That's rare in itself. That's rare to do in qualifying or just out playing with your friends. And she just did it in the final match of the Women's U.S. Amateur. That was extraordinary to watch.
I birdied the 22nd hole and went back to 4 up, and then me and Albane tied the rest of the holes up until the 29th hole. I birdied it. It was number 11, a par 3, and I made a little bit of a longer putt from just off the green, and that gave me a lot of momentum.
A wonderful looking putt there for Schubert. An unlikely hole out from the back of the green here on 11, the 29th hole to go 5 up.
My nerves were still there because it's golf. Golf is crazy, things can change. But I felt like I was in a really good position, and I had put a lot of pressure on my opponent.
When we got to that 13th green, It was kind of surreal for me. It was like, holy cow, she can win this right here on 13 green. And I'm thinking, we got this. This thing's over. And then she leaves it 4 feet short, and I was like, what?
Well, at this point, I was pretty nervous because I knew I could win on this hole. And basically, I didn't want to mess it up. But I left that putt a little short. It was like 3 feet short or something. But it looked like 6 feet to me. She putted, she missed her putt, so she bogeyed. And at this point, I knew that if I made this putt, I would win the U.S. Women's Amateur.
And Sophia Schubert, senior to be at University of Texas, this year's U.S. Women's Amateur champion.
And I just couldn't believe that I had won at that point. I mean, I had won 6 and 5 against an incredible player, one of the highest ranked amateurs in the world. I mean, not only winning was a huge accomplishment, but winning by that much just made it even better.
It gave me something that I didn't have before, which was an experience, which was surreal. I've been a part of a few highlights in my coaching career. That's number one. It was something that I cherish and will always cherish.
Seeing the names that were on that trophy next to my name, it made me realize, that I'm with such wonderful company on that trophy. Being the third Longhorn to win the United States Women's Amateur was very special, I feel, not only for me, but for the Longhorn community.
It's the one. It's the tournament you want to win, and as time goes on, she'll realize why that was such a big event to win.
Now I get to play in 4 LPGA major tournaments, and that is just something that I've always dreamed of, and that's why I've worked so hard on my game to get to this point.
She is definitely one of the greats. I mean, you win a U.S. Amateur, that's a major. She won a major of amateur golf. It's unbelievable.
I'm Sophia Schubert, and I'm a United States Women's Amateur champion. I'm an All-American, and I'm a Longhorn. Hook 'em.